Hello folks, I thought I'd have a little bit of a quiet one tonight as I promised, a nice boring one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about mental illness. Now I have suffered with mental illness pretty much most of my most of my life. I had some very unfortunate events happening to me when I was about 5. I had an abusive father, who carried out all his angst and problems out on me because he wasn't allowed to do it to my younger brother. Had a younger brother who found that he was immune to being punished simply by turning around and saying, it was him, he done it. And then I had a run-in with meningitis. I can't remember what year it was, like 7 or 8. And it was after the year at the... I think it was 1975. And it was around this time, it was New Year's Day. And I woke up with this pounding headache. And I mean, we are talking about, felt like your brain was being ripped in two. And what happened was I remember going to the doctors. I remember the doctor saying it looks serious, because my dad thought I was putting it on. And I was then rushed to Joyce Green Hospital, where I was put into an isolation ward. And the only thing I remember for a year was me coming round to the immense pain of having a full-on, lumbar puncture, which in the 70s was like, when they got this great big long pipe and they shoved it up your spine. No anaesthetic, you had to be moving, you had to be, and I will say I am quite ashamed about this, but the nurse, because I would not stop thrashing around, put my head between her legs and held me firm, sort of thing. So of course what I've done, I'm pushed up against something, not realising what that particular thing was until later on in life, and I bit her. So she had to be taken off to casualty with a bit of a wound, where the sun don't shine, sort of thing. So and they got me lumbar punctured, and then they knocked me out, and I didn't come home for a year. It's rather ironic, that I live down here in Dorset now, and one of my next door neighbour, where we lived over in a place called Bourton, her mum was my principal care nurse back in the 70s. And it's like she knew who I was straight away, and I knew who she was. So, and of course that pulled me out of sync with school. All I saw my friends because they thought there was something wrong with me, and things at home were not improving. And then we moved from Kent back to South London, and I fell in with the wrong people, or the right people, whichever way you want to look at it. I fell in with the skinheads and the punks, because they gave me something called solidarity. Me and the schools didn't get on. I got caned in the second year of at Ravensbourne School for Boys, and what happened was it was nothing to do with me, and I got grassed up, and so I got caned for it, and I wasn't having it. So in a bid to get myself expelled from the school, I got my my .22 target air pistol, and I shot the bastard who bloody caned me. And it was pretty close range. He had to go and have surgery on his bum. So, so of course I fell out of school, and I fell out of I was 13 senior schools I went to. Everyone in Bromley, everyone in Lewis, Sydenham. They did try. I got expelled from junior schools as well. I went to the same schools as David Bowie, because David Bowie was a Sundridge Park bloke, where we were in London, And I always remember Mrs. Williams whittering on and on and on about her David, like, you know, as if she, like, made him who he was. Like, you know, no. She might have given him a lot of, like, you know, teaching, but, like, you know, he was who he was, and he was always going to be a god in my eyes. And, you know, I mean, he was living in a very, very nondescript, very tiny, 2 up, 2 down, next door to Sundridge Park Station, just behind the College Arms, which is now some sort of office. And he launched himself from there. Like, you know, like, South London Bromley boy does good. And of course, like, we had quite a few people in Bromley, like, you know, like, were famous. Susie and the Banshees, like Max Splodge, who me and him was on a race to see who could get thrown out of the school quickest. Like, he was a Keston lad. Like, he was a bit older than me, but, like, you know, we were both very naughty boys. Like, yeah. And of course I fell in with the skinheads and the punks and started glue sniffing, and my brain was just beginning to go to pieces. And it all came to a head when, on my 17th birthday, after getting rip-roaringly drunk, I was arrested at the platform. I don't know what platform it was at Euston Station, figuratively trying to catch a train. You know, one coming in, like, you know, that was going to, like, you know, make it good and proper, and one get it over and done with. So, you know. And of course I kept lurching from disaster to disaster, getting good jobs, blowing these jobs, you know. I mean, I had some pretty good jobs, like, you know. I mean, I was talented back then, but the mental illness just kept coming in. Depression, you know, the feelings of self-worth that have always been there, the voice of my father, it's always been there, like, you know, saying, you know, you're worthless, you're nothing, you know, you're a piece of shit. You know, kill yourself. Go on, do it. You know, nobody's going to worry if you're going to die. You know, they'll be glad to be rid of you. That's what the voices are in my head every day. You know, I had a disaster in the army, and like, the less said about that, the better. You know, which ended up with me spending time in a special hotel for naughty soldiers who didn't do as they were told, and then told to piss it off, basically. Don't darken our doorsteps, and that pension you thought you was going to get, that's gone as well. I came out, did nursing. You know, but my brain was really, really struggling, you know, and I was seeking help by the time I was in nursing, because I could recognise that I needed help, but nobody knew what was wrong, you know. And I was still quite clammed up about my father and about, you know, my mum nearly drinking herself to death, and, you know, there was a lot of stuff that I never talked about. And that's really what the point of this is all about, right? You know, it's to talk about mental illness, you know. Just talk about it, you know. Talk to somebody. You've got to have somebody in your life that you can turn to and say, I'm having troubles. I mean, I've got my Dr. Stone, like, you know, he's brilliant. He's been my doctor since 2002 when he helped me bash, like, social services up over Shana, like, you know, but that's another story, like, but he's been my, you know, confidant for a long time. Shana and Steph are also my confidants. If I'm having problems, I can turn to them. And that's really, you know, depression isn't like a broken arm. Mental illness isn't like a broken arm. It's not something that's definable, you know. I get my hand out, I break that up, right? I know that. I put a plaster cast on it, hit a reel up, bosh. Like, you know, mental illness is not like that. Sometimes I'm up, like I was last night. I mean, I was pretty, you know, but most times I'm down. And, you know, I sit there on my bed, and I was talking to Shana about this today. I actually sit there on the edge of my bed. I've come in from the night of nightmares, because every time I go to sleep, it's nightmares. All the nice things, things I cherish and things I care about, being ripped up by bad people, bad things and bad events and stuff like that. And I mean, we are talking, horror films are nothing compared to what goes on up in my head. You know, and my cats, like, you know, I mean, you know, people like, you know, Shana's mother tearing the cats up and killing off, and then, like, you know, like wank the remains at me, sort of thing, you know. That goes on all the time, you know. And then when I wake up, I have to sit there and kind of digest and say, look, you're back, you're awake, sort of thing. And then face the day when the voices start again. Back, you're shit, you're worthless, you're nothing, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. And then, like, you know, the PTSD starts. And I'll tell you something, like, I don't know if you've seen, like, you know, where they have, like, in films where they have, like, a person kind of, like, reminiscing. It's like this kind of grey sepia sort of, like, overlay over what they're seeing, you know, whatever it is, their memories and stuff like that. That's what PTSD is all about. You start reliving what you went through, as well as you start reliving things that the brain's, like, making up to, like, you know, to, I don't know, punish you, I don't know, like, so, you know, your day is, like, punctured with this constant attack of vile disgustingness. And then it's time to go to sleep. And it's, oh my God, I don't want to go to sleep because I know what's in store. You know, people killing me mum, people killing me daughters, you know, and stuff like that. No, I mean, it is bad. Now, I will say this, right? There's two things that I take. It's mirtazapine and venlafaxine. Now, together, it's called California rocket fuel. Now, on venlafaxine alone, right, it wasn't enough. I was really harming myself. Like, you know, but adding the mirtazapine just gave it a different aspect. It's the only time that two strong antidepressants work. And I researched this all myself, and I went to my psychiatrist and I said, hey, what about this? Right. And he said, yeah, it's a good idea. He says, like, you know, I said, I know that it's good. And it stopped me trying to slash my wrist. It stopped me trying to take overdoses. It stopped me wanting to throw myself off of bridges or go off into the wilderness and, like, you know, jumping off a cliff. It stopped me. I can resist the voices. I can, the urges to just get off, you know, it helps. Ain't perfect. It ain't wonderful. You know, I would trade my life with somebody like a shot, you know, but then I would wish this on my worst enemy, you know, well, except something called Wandle, because he's a complete twat, but, like, you know, I really wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. And, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm crying because I can't cope with it, you know, and the pain, and then the physical side's getting in the way of it, because I'm in so much bloody agony. My shoulders are kicking, my chest wound is hurting, everything hurts. I've got massive neuropathy in my legs, like, you know, I haven't felt my feet for years, like, now it's crept up past my knees, and, you know, you're thinking to yourself, this ain't right. Well, what did I do to deserve all this shit, you know? And I do wonder. You know, and I saw something the other day, and it says something about, you know, that the people, you know, they inherit the crimes of their family, and, you know, I think about my father, who was a completely terrible person, like, you know, I mean, and it's really weird because, like, his parents were actually pretty straight, decent people, right? And they came from a very straight, decent family. But my father was a complete and utter cunt. You know, I'm saying that. I don't like speaking ill of the dead, but he treated me like shit. You know, and every day is a lesson learned from that treatment. So, this is kind of a way of saying to people, you know, don't let these things fester. Get help. Seek help. Speak. The only stupid question on this planet is the one that don't get asked, you know. If you need help, ask for it. And, you know, have a spare a thought. I don't want anybody's pity or anything like that. But do spare a thought for some of us that do have pretty crap days, you know. Because, you know, I mean, there's people that moaning because they haven't got the latest TV or the latest game or their console and stuff like that, you know. Well, they got really, you know, some material things. Cherish your family. Cherish your life because it runs out. It's like an hourglass, and then when that sand's gone, bosh, so are you. So live your life to cram your days full of hours and cram those hours full of minutes, you know. And that's something I have tried to do over the years. I mean, I've done some amazing things which I will recount in places, like, but do do make sure that you fulfill yourself, because we don't know what's in the next phase of things, you know. And me losing my head yesterday probably wasn't the best thing either. Anyway, I am going to leave that here, right? I'm going to carry on, right, you know, pissing around with my watches, and catch you in the next one. See ya.